I really outdid myself. I didn't think I could, but I've been waiting for this video for a long time. Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Jason from Jason's House of Fun and Video Games, bringing you today eBay Times and Buys Volume 4. And this might be it. So what's in the packages? I'm not telling you. You're going to have to figure it out as we go along every single one of these boxes. And as I have gotten a look for a long time today, which is probably well deserved because this is an awful lot of buys. But let me give a few tips on how this works. So for the past couple of months, I was kind of hoping before this month and last month that this would actually work. But it didn't because, sometimes things don't happen. But let me explain to you how this works. So for me, I've been watching things that I want for a long time. A few things in particular that I'm probably never going to go after because it's just too much of the dinero right now. So too much money. And then there's other things where I'm like, I think it's time to move on this. So finally, after a couple of months, people watching, it ends up being that the sellers come to me. So when you watch items for a long period of time, there isn't much action with the items. The seller wants to get rid of them. It just so happens to be, I watched a good amount of items and was able to strike some good deals. So let's get into it. eBay tip number 1. Watch items, make deals. And
Girlfriend tip number 1. Take the credit card away from them now.
Alright, so we'll get to this one right here. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm ecstatic. If I wasn't so tired, you'd see even more on my face. So, I told you we've been into the VHS, and we got bit by the bug, and we fell into the hole. Well, that's what we've got today. All the VHS that I've been looking for. And after this, I don't really think there's much else I'm really looking for, but you never know with me. But I'd say for a while, I'm pretty good because these were very hard to come by, and I really had to make some deals. Not deals, but deals. So let's go through the first few. Interestingly enough, I'll take these ones out first. They're all going to be horror, I'll tell you that. I think they are.
It's probably a good thing we don't have a fire pit.
John Carpenter's Vampires. Awesome flick. I did not expect that, but when I was looking for something else, which we'll get to momentarily, that is part of the deal. So, super excited about that. The Howling, not a first release. At least I don't believe it is. No, I don't believe it's the first release. But either way, so when I say first release, that usually means that within like a year or two of the movie actually releasing in theaters, it would have the same date behind here because some of them don't have that. And I honestly think the first releases look better. Anytime you see something like Movie Time or something like that at the top, but it's okay. I'm a pretty big fan of The Howling, but not a super duper fan. So I do like it though. Super excited to add that to the collection because the first one's the best. And then this one was interesting. Again, this wasn't part of what I was looking for, but it came with it, so I was like, cool. Lawnmower Man and Lawnmower Man Part 2, Job's War. I could have swore up and down that I had these. I have looked up and down, left and right, ripped everything apart. I could not find them. Just so happens to be that this happened to be in the set that I was going after. But, again, super excited for that. Great movies. The first one's really good. Alright. 13 Ghosts. Not the original, but the remake. Still pretty cool. Another awesome horror movie to add to the collection. Now let's get with what the item or actually caught my eye. Is the Hellraiser collection. So I got all these out of the way. Plus these for a really good price. But this is what I was really after. Hellraiser 1. How can you say no to Pinhead? Hellraiser 2. Hellbound. These are not for the faint of heart either. I mean, all the movies I have pretty much aren't. But the Hellraiser movies are a very particular beast. But if you love horror And you'll love a little dark comedy mixed in there. Hellraiser's your guy. Pinhead's your guy. And then I've got the Bloodlines, which a lot of people aren't a lot of fans of. This one in particular. I liked it for some reason, but Pinhead goes to space, and usually when things go to space, it usually doesn't work out. So that's okay. I'm cool with that. And move some crap out of the way. We're gonna have to get like a. We're gonna have to just move everything out, just so I could set things up for vids. Hellraiser Inferno. This is one of the sequels that came much later. I think there might be one more before this. I was really only looking for the first 4, but still, it's okay. I'll take it. Pretty cool. And I think that killed that box. So let's see what we got next. I think, don't mind me. I've just got like 10,000 packages that I have right in front of me. Oh, that's a good one to go through. So, for Child's Play, I was only missing number 3. It's not necessarily the best packaging. The tapes are okay. I had to open these up prior to the video, which I kind of wanted to wait because I always love to open things up on vids. But with all the stuff I had to make sure that everything was there and make sure that I gave the sellers some great feedbacks. And you know, a lot of people have some tough times on eBay. I don't typically, and I'm able to usually work things out with the seller. I'm not talking about in regards to price. I'm just talking about in general with the merchandise getting to you on time, getting the right merchandise. I had that happen to me once, and you know, the guy was nice enough to take the return back, which he should have. But you know, if you've done this long enough, or at least ordered off eBay, you know, sometimes it could be a little difficult. And he actually ended up throwing in a free game for me too as well. So I've had some really good luck, and hopefully I'll continue to when I decide to, you know, purchase something or whatever. So that is it for the Child's Plays. They are complete, at least in my eyes. Don't have the, what was the last one that was there? Well, the newer ones won't be on VHS, but 1, 2, 3, Bride of Chucky, and then the Seed of Chucky. I have no interest in that. I didn't really think much of the movie, but the first 4 are pretty cool. Super excited to add that in. I'm going to throw this in real quick because this isn't the total package of the set, but it's a cool one. Wanted to add it in. Halloween. And this is a later released one. I believe it was 1999. It's the Anchor Bay. It's really cool. I had a lot of these when I still had a good portion of my VHS collection, but either I might have sold them at one of the yard sales I might have had at one point in my life, or it just got lost in the shuffle. But I have it now, and I'm pretty excited for that. So, hey, I've got all the versions now of Halloween that I want on VHS. And this one right here, we can go through this one. Awesome. This one right here holds a very special place to my heart because whenever I rented the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from a local video rental store, which wasn't Blockbuster or anything like that, it was just a local one, like a local mom and pop one, it had this very distinct cover on it, and when I've seen it anywhere else, it has the original theatrical trailer or theatrical poster cover. So this one is pretty unique, and it's not very common to find this, but watched it for long enough, got a great deal, no complaints, but that is why this one is special to me. So I have the second one. I don't believe I have the third one, but I'm not really going after it. So I would say that that set is complete. That one we're going to wait on. And what do we got here? That one we'll wait on. This one we will not wait on. I saw this a long time ago, and I wish I was around when Blockbuster Video was kind of going out of business. I didn't really pay attention to it. I must have been just starting working or whatever. Or I was working at, you know, for a long period of time, I think, at that point. But this is the Halloween trilogy, the Blockbuster exclusive, and I'm gonna open it up. I had this, and I could not find this. This is like a relic now, because there's no more blockbusters. The last one just closed, I believe, within the last year or so. That was in Oregon, I think it was, and there was one in Alaska as well. So pretty cool. These are what I was talking about. So these are the Good Times versions of it, and then I believe there's Anchor Bay versions of it. But still pretty cool. Love the artwork, but the artwork does not beat the originals when it comes to Halloween. So super excited to add that set into the collection. I've only seen it once or twice, and then I never saw it again because Blockbuster closed, and I didn't react fast enough. So pretty cool. Yeah, right. Let's throw a box out of the way. Got so much stuff. Alright, so we'll have to wait on a few of these. We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm trying to get
So
organized.
I have to ask.
Yeah.
Is all of these VHS that you bought?
Yeah. Why?
I hate you.
Oh. Yep. I expect that. Alright, cool. So now we'll get down to the nitty gritty.
I saw Sephora and I got excited and then I realized it wasn't for me.
Yeah, this is, should I start with this one? I think I'm going to start with this one. I have never gotten a box from any kind of coffee, but you know what? Every one of these awesome sellers packaged everything really well. It doesn't really matter to me.
Hey, hard times, okay.
Oh, no, I agree. I've just never seen this before, so this got me excited because I was like, I knew what it was, but I was like, that is such a unique way of putting these into to be shipped and everything. But hey, it's cool with me. They packaged it well with some bubble wrap and everything like that. And they even put it in another little tiny box as well. So get that out of the way. Here we go. Re-release Friday the 13th. I'm not super excited about this one because I want the original. But we'll get there. Don't worry. So that's the first one. These ones all here are re-releases from 1994 for the most part, but still got the original artwork on it. It is very difficult, like I said, to track down some of these first releases, and especially when it comes to this goes for a pretty penny. So, hey, I'll take the second release or third release or whatever. I'm good with that. Just not that first one. I didn't really like that because it's not the original cover. Huh?
She'll let them in the box.
Yeah. This one right here, Friday the 13th, Part 3. Awesome, awesome.
Oh, these smell funny.
Yeah. I mean, they're all, and I went through all these to make sure they had no mold to it and made sure that all the tapes were in good condition, and they were, just like I would expect nothing less from the sellers I deal with. So, Friday the 13th, the final chapter. That was a load of crap. That certainly wasn't the last chapter. Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. A lot of people aren't fans of it, and then all of a sudden it's got a cult following. It's kind of like Halloween 3. No one really liked that because it had no Michael Myers. And now over the years, people have found a reason to like it. I always liked it. I thought it was a cool movie, but I was a little let down at first. Once I got the fact that Michael Myers wasn't in that movie, it was okay. It should have just called it something different. Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. Oh, yes. Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. Much better conditioned one than I have. Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, a.k.a. Vancouver, Canada. But that's an awesome poster. This one actually has two different variants. Obviously, I'd want to go with this one. Friday the 13th. Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. And that is so cool. This was actually the first movie that I saw that was an unrated director's original cut. And just the feeling of it is just awesome. Like, you got to get a close-up of that. That's really cool. Not a lot of people really liked that movie when it first came out at first, except for the end, which, you know, no spoilers on that, but I think most of us have seen it already. But again, another cult following on that as well that I've noticed over the years. I liked it. It was just different. Jason X.
That was the worst movie.
Like I said, anything that goes in space is usually pretty bad. It's Jason, so I got to show my support for my boy.
No.
But Cynthia has no interest in that. Leprechaun went in space. Leprechaun didn't do so good in space. Pinhead went in space. Most people will say he didn't do well. I said it was okay. And it's Jason, so he gets a thumbs up for me. I don't care. But I understand why somebody would be like, this is nothing like the other ones, for the first, 8 of them or whatever, because 9 was very different. This was very different as well. So, super excited to finally complete the VHS collection of Friday the 13th. But wait, there's one more. Now, if you don't know anything about this movie,
that was awful too.
This could have been a lot better.
So much better.
But just remember that this took over 10 years to finally get on the screen. A ton of different rewrites, different directors, different directions, everything. So I like it for what it is. I'm glad that Robert Englund reprised his role as Freddy one last time, because I don't know if he's going to do it or not. Supposedly there's rumors out here with a series that's coming out, or another reboot, or another movie or sequel or whatever. So excited to add that in. And that is the complete collection of Friday the 13th. But hold on. So for that one that I told you I'm not really that big of a fan of, we did have to outsource. So I do have the original. Now, if you take a look at this real quick, you will see why. This one's like from your local big box retailer. It's just a re-release. They make a ton of money off of these every Halloween. They used to come out. Just look at the difference. I'm still cool with it either way, but that quality on the original is just better, and I just love that poster. So, still excited to add it in, and it's a collection that's finally complete. Now, the last one, I'm going to make sure that I do this right, because this one I could not get a lot of. I don't mean a lot, but a lot. So you can get individual items on eBay, or you can get lots. With this particular kind of thing, I kind of went after the lot. These movies can be very expensive, but with lots that have been sitting there for a long period of time, like I said, always watch something that you want. Maybe somebody will try to strike a deal with you. Then it just makes it easier on the wallet. So I think this is the first one to go through. I was close. Don't mind me. This is what happens when you have 5,000 things in here. Oh, you know what? Before we get to that, we'll go over this one. Still close to the heart, but not as close as the other ones. Scream. Awesome movie. This restarted everybody's interest in horror. I was still interested in horror when this came out, but I was super excited to see that, the great Wes Craven decided to come back. So, you got that one. Scream 2. Sequel, I was pretty excited for. I think they did pretty well with it. The third one, I was excited to see the original cast. I wouldn't necessarily say this is my favorite. The fourth one was my least favorite. And we'll just leave it at that. So I got the first 3. The fourth one, obviously, because of the time VHS wasn't being released. That wouldn't have been on VHS. But first 3, I'm good with. I feel that that is complete. So, let's get to the final. This one again, another lot. Completed collection in Nightmare on Elm Street. So that is the first one. I believe that this may be a first or second release. This may be his first release, but I'm guessing it's the second, because most of the time you see this kind of symbol on it, at least for this type of movie. That's usually a first release. So, super excited to add some Nightmare on Elm Street to the collection. Very underrated movie. Not the best sequel. If you take it for what it is, and it's very different composure through the movie, and just very different. It's still enjoyable, and it's Freddy Krueger, so how could you not like it? My favorite of all the Nightmare on Elm Streets, other than the first one, is the third one. Most people will say that. Some Dream Warriors, absolutely. This box isn't in the best shape, but just look at, these are where the covers got out of control. When I first saw these, Freddy Krueger used to scare the living crap out of me when I was younger. If there was anybody that scared me out of all these, it was probably Freddy Krueger, and eventually I ended up really liking it because I'm who I am. I love horror. But I I like these little stickers like here. I don't like little stickers that say it's like $2 or something like that. These type of stickers definitely preserve history because that was, you know, on the original. I don't know if it would have been on that or the original plastic. Somebody took it off or whatever, but still pretty cool. That's the best sequel. Let me know in the comment section down below what your favorite sequel is of the Nightmare on Elm Street films. I'd be curious to hear that. My second favorite sequel would be A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. I mean, just look at these, like, I don't even know if I need to even speak anymore in regards to these ones, because just look at the awesome detail that they put into this. If I could, I will eventually get one of these box covers on me. By meaning on me, I mean tattooed on me. I plan on getting tattoos at some point or another. I'm getting a little older, so I better get moving on that. But definitely ones that have interested me are some of the Friday the 13th. Again, huge horror fan, as you can tell. If not, then I'd have a real big problem other than the normal problem nonsense. I love these covers. They're just fantastic. So definitely get a close-up of that one. And, of course, here comes the Dream Child. Isn't the best cover art, but it was okay. Again, there's a lot of people that have a cult following for this one as well. So movies that weren't well received are now being received now. It's okay. There's actually two different versions of this. I'm not too concerned with it. I believe if you want to actually see the unrated version, which is just a very minor detail change in one of the kill scenes, you actually have to get it on Laserdisc. And I don't know if it's from the US or PAL, which is overseas. But that's what I've been told. Even though it says uncut, it's almost like a Resident Evil director's cut, where very little changed and the main parts were not changed. So that's kind of what I think of when I think of Nightmare on Elm Street, or vice versa, because Resident Evil came out much later. Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. At first, I wasn't too happy about this movie. Just didn't do it for me. After I watched it a few times, I was like, okay, that's a good way to, you know, kind of end the series. So, again, super excited to add that in. And same thing with this one. I wasn't too happy with the new Nightmare. A lot of people didn't really receive it well. After I watched it a few times, it really just kind of took my mind out of what, you know, just kind of what it was supposed to be. It's not supposed to be what we know about Freddy Krueger. It's what could be and living in the real time. So if you haven't seen this movie, definitely give it a try no matter what you hear about it. It's definitely interesting, and it's an interesting thing to think about on how art, you know, is supposed to imitate life, but life is not supposed to imitate art. So super excited. Nightmare on Elm Street complete. Now let's get to the grand finale. Where are we? Here we go. So the cool thing about this is an original release Halloween. It is very hard to find this. If you see on most of them, you'll see the media on the Nightmare on Elm Street. They don't have this type of white underlining. Yeah, it's something, you know, silly and minuscule, but for the Halloween series and the Nightmare on Elm Street series, I should have done it with the Jason series, but again, that's the Friday 13th go for a little bit more than these other two, so you just gotta kind of wait and find the right deals, I guess. So super excited to add that in. No complaints on that. And even put it on the little sticker there, free with the order. This was from Blockbuster. Sometimes they come back for more, so as a free movie he tossed in there for me, for being a good customer, I guess. So excited about that. You can never say no to free, and it's always nice to know that somebody's showing appreciation even though it's a business transaction. This one, again, this is an original release. It does not have the media because it's a different. It's different. I think Compass did the first one, and then I think Universal did this one. So those are movies, how they get released or whatever. So look at those cover arts, though. I mean, my goodness, like this is just making my day. So you gotta really just appreciate that. A pumpkin with a skull popping out of it. It's awesome. So I'll let you take that, and that's gonna be. Where are you? Oh, this one. This one is extremely hard to track down. So you saw the different version of the other one that I had with the trilogy set from the Blockbuster exclusive. Good Times re-released this, Anchor Bay re-released this, and the original was MCA Home Video for this one. This is extremely hard to find again. Remember what I was saying, this was not very well received because no Michael Myers and da-da-da. But give it a try and forget what this is called. If this was just called, you know, Season of the Witch, I guess, trust me, I think you'd find this interesting. So, super excited. Alright, there we go. So, Halloween 4, the original release one. Yep, this one will have CBS Fox on it. And it even has that little sticker from the rental place, which some people have issues with rentals. I don't. I'd rather have only personal collections only, but at this stage in the game, how old these things are, how hard they are to come by, you get what you get. So, look at that. Look at that cover art. I mean, you can't touch it. Not a very well-received one. Some people love it, some people don't. I thought it was okay. I thought it was an interesting story, and for a while, we didn't actually see one until 1996.
That mask is awful.
It was not a great mask. I was not really a fan of the fourth mask, the fifth mask. I ended up really liking this one, though. I gotta tell you, I was so excited when this came out. I waited so long for this. Like, I saw that probably around, I don't know, 90, 91 maybe. And when this was coming out, I was so excited. I saw an original trailer, and I think I've told this story before, but I saw an original trailer, which is almost like a teaser at this point, of the producer's cut, which we'll get into at some point or another once I actually talk about the series in great detail in another video. The producer's cut was going to be released, then, you know, they decided to rewrite it, add some stuff to it or whatever, and it came out the way it did in the theatrical trailer. But when I saw that, when I used to rent the Jerky Boys, another VHS came out like 94, 95. I used to rent it, one, because I like the movie, but two, just to see that trailer, because it's very hard to find that trailer. And I saw this, and I was like, none of the stuff I saw in the trailer match. Have you ever seen that? That happens a lot. Sometimes they'll do that to you to kind of mess with you, to get you to not understand, that, you know, not see what's going to happen in the story or whatever, but they just did that for a lot of different reasons. So if you are fortunate enough to get the complete set on Blu-ray of Halloween, which I do own, you will have the unrated producer's cut added with that, which is a huge win. And that's really why I bought that, because the one that I had was an old VHS bootleg cover, which was like my second purchase off of eBay back in the late 90s. So super excited to add that in. And how could you go wrong with that? Like, just look at that. That's just great. All right. Getting down to the nitty gritty. I don't get anything else behind me. Cool. H2O, 20 years later. So Halloween, 20 years later. I thought it was awesome. Another one I was super excited for. Didn't really do as well as I wanted it to, but it did well enough to spawn a sequel, which we'll go to, which was probably my least favorite out of all of them. But it was good to see Jamie Lee Curtis back in the role of Laurie Strode, or Sharon Tate, in that movie, I believe it was. So here it is. Everybody has a one of those movies you're just not a big fan of, and even though it's Michael, I don't know, just doesn't do it for me. But I still like it for what it is, and maybe if I watched a few more times, maybe if you see it on TV, I might actually like it. Halloween Resurrection. Evil finds its way home. Yep, that is what it is, and Busta Rhymes is in it, and says trick or treat to Michael, and gives him a roundhouse. So, if that makes for any sense that I just was talking about why this really wasn't a favorite movie of mine, I just can't see anybody doing a roundhouse to Michael Myers. Just can't see it, but whatever, it's cool. Gotta watch the TV version, maybe I'll actually like it. So, that is it. So, with all that being said, let me know down in the comment section below, as always, what is your favorite thing that I bought this time, not found as I normally do. I'm super excited to complete these horror series. And if I don't get another VHS in regards to horror, I'm okay with it because these are my favorites. Obviously, with the other ones that I said were thrown in there because I was going after Hellraiser, it's a little bit different. But still, they're all movies that I liked and watched anyway. I could get thousands upon thousands of these VHSs, but there has to be an end point at some point or another. And I think I reached what I was looking for. So again, remember, if you do want something off of eBay, don't always jump to the first thing that you see. Watch it for a while, just kind of see how it does, and then eventually, if you have a good enough reputation on eBay, sellers will come to you and offer you, limited time offers, usually about 48 hours for you to make up your mind. You can kind of go back and forth and talk a little bit. If you know the item's been on for a long extended period of time, the seller wants to make money, but the seller does not want to keep something in their location, or maybe they're just getting rid of it for money. Whatever the reason is, they don't want to keep it. So they'll eventually want to get rid of it. And I'm not saying they'll undermine anybody or anything like that. But again, this is a business. They are trying to make money. I'm trying to get something I want. So there's nothing wrong with striking deals. And I think as long as everybody works out with it and you're professional and you kind of meet in the middle and don't ask for something for a penny or something silly like that, then just show respect when it comes to making your offers and everything like that. I think you'll be excited to see your results. As you can see with me, all these were made by just getting deals and just watching these for months and months and months. And just so happens to be right before these things go sky high in price, like everything does around this time. Halloween's around the corner. A lot of big box retailers start setting it. eBay goes on fire with these. So, like I said, leave a comment section down below. Leave a comment in the comment section down below on what your favorite find or favorite buy was in this video. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. 72, we got 1 subscriber since the last video. 72 awesome people have subscribed to the House of Fun and Video Games. We get into some great conversations, try to make sure they're always positive as always, and go a little bit further, if you could, for me after you subscribe. Hit that notification bell so the next time that I go for something on eBay, find something at the thrift, or some other things I have planned very, very soon come to you, you'll get notified of it right away. But I'd say that pretty much wraps it up because I can't wait to put these VHSs in the correct order on my VHS shelf that has been waiting for that horror. Well, anyway, folks, this is Jason from Jason's House of Fun and Video Games. We have a wonderful night. Hope you enjoy your weekend. And that's it. I'm done. Time to get moving.